What's going on, YouTube? This is SG1 Sports, and it's early, but we're going to give you an early projected record for the Tennessee Volunteers in 2024. Keep in mind, this is not an official prediction. It's simply a projection based off of how tough their schedule is and how good we expect each opponent to be. Before we get to 2024, let's look back at some of the projections from 2023. Here were some of the projections from last year for Tennessee, and you see an 8-4 record. Their projection was 9-3 with the formula that we use. Our prediction was 10-2. I was higher on this team, thought they were going to be better than they were. Athlon had them at 9-3. The over/under was at 9.5. So a disappointing year for Tennessee. Again, expectations really closer to 9-3 or even 10-2 with that over/under at 9.5, and they went just 8-4. So again, not great last year for Tennessee. A little bit of a disappointment, but still, it was a solid year. There at 8-4. But again, this is the schedule and this is the scale that we use. So less than 20, over 80%. Those are the games that are almost guaranteed wins or losses. Your 20 to 29, your 70 to 80% games. Those are games where I think the spread will be double digits. Games that it would be a pretty big upset if the underdog were to win. 30 to 39, 61 to 70 games where I think the spread will be closer to a touchdown. And these are the upsets that are more likely to happen. And then 40 to 60% games where I think, really, these are games that can go either way. Yeah, there's going to be probably a favorite in these games, but still, it's not going to be enough to where you really don't see this game potentially being a game that could go either way. So we'll start with the easy wins. Chattanooga, Kent State, UTEP, pretty much guaranteed wins. I mean, I would be shocked if Tennessee, if any of these games are even close at all. So they should roll in those three games. So you get three easy wins. And then you got Florida, Mississippi State, and on the road at Vanderbilt. All games where I think Tennessee will be favored by double digits, 10 to 14 points more than likely. I know Florida beat them last year, but this time it's in Knoxville. And Tennessee, I mean, they should be improved from last season. Florida, I don't know. They might be kind of the same. Mississippi State should be about the same as well. And then Vanderbilt is just so far behind everyone else in the SEC. But that game is on the road. That's why it's in the blue and not in the green. If that was a home game, it would be in the green. But again, these are games where Tennessee should be a pretty comfortable favorite. I kind of second-guessed the Florida game. But, if you bump Florida down into the purple, I think you could also easily bump Vanderbilt up to the green. So it kind of works out either way. But this is the formula that we use. And then NC State, Arkansas, Kentucky games where I think Tennessee will be favored by about a touchdown. Arkansas only because it's on the road. That's the only reason that game is not in the blue. And then Kentucky at home, that's why that one is in the purple. And then NC State, I just think Tennessee's going to be a better team than NC State. Neutral field should be favored by about a touchdown, again, in all three of these games. So that means they're going to be a pretty big favorite in 9 of their 12 games. I would say at least a touchdown favorite. Maybe Kentucky turns out to be better than we think. Maybe Arkansas, NC State, I don't know. But those are the games that Tennessee, if you're a Tennessee fan, you think we really need to win these 9 games. We've got to win these 9 games. Then if you can win, 1 or even 2 of these other 3, you're in great shape. And I do think they'll be a clear underdog against Georgia. I think that's one where they will be about a touchdown underdog. And if Georgia's as good as I think they might be, that could even be bigger. They might even be a 2-touchdown underdog in that game. But we're going conservative. It's very early. And again, these are not predictions. But I do think they will clearly be an underdog in that game. And then you've got Oklahoma and Alabama. These are the games that are going to make or break the season, I think, for Tennessee. Right now I'd say they probably won't beat Georgia, especially on the road. If you lose to Oklahoma and Alabama and go 9-3, probably not going to make the college football playoff. But if you can just win one of these 2 games, you've got a really, really good shot at 10-2. I've kind of been looking, though, at different teams. And, I think we could possibly see 1 or 2 10-2 teams left out just because, again, the ACC and the Big 12, their champions are going to get in. And then you're also going to have a group of 5 team get in. So that could potentially knock out a 10-2 team. So even 10-2 doesn't guarantee you a spot, but you feel pretty good. And again, those 2 games, if they can find a way to just win one of them, and let's say they don't beat Georgia and they take care of business everywhere else, they can get to 10-2 and again potentially make the college football playoff. But the odds would say they're going to go 9-3. That's what the projection is. Again, when we do our formula here, the odds would say when you've got 3 games in the purple here, NC State, Arkansas, and Kentucky, they would say that you're probably going to lose one of those. Even though you're favored, when you have 3 of those games, you're probably going to lose one of those. And then split Oklahoma and Alabama, lose to Georgia. That's how you can get to 9-3. 10-2 is definitely possible, though. Like I said earlier, 8-4. If you lose all three of those, Oklahoma, Alabama, and Georgia, and then get upset somewhere else, they could fall to 8-4. But I think 9-3 is a very fair projection. And again, I think it's more likely they go 10-2 than 8-4. But we'll see how things go and how good all these teams are. It's very early, like I said, and again, not an official prediction. But the projection for Tennessee is 9-3 with a pretty manageable schedule. Do you guys agree or disagree with this projection? Let me know your thoughts on the Vols down in the comments below.